Hey everybody, I am coming making this video message, and I want to let you know that sometimes, if this fits you, sometimes when people start hiding and running away from you, or they are outright ignoring you and avoiding you, it is because they are guilty of either betraying you or doing or saying something concerning you behind your back. The reason why I'm making this video message is because I need all of you all to know that sometimes when God is consecrating you, when God has called you on a sabbatical, when God is pruning you, you will not always be able to be around the people that you typically would be around before your process started. And unfortunately, when this starts to happen in a saved man or woman's life, it will make people feel some type of way. And a lot of people will talk out of turn. They will speak presumptuously, and they will make a lot of assumptions about you and your relationship with them, when in reality they don't know or have all the facts. I want all of you all to know, and this is not for everybody, but it's for some of you all. You know that you are in your consecration season. You know that God have released you from being around a lot of people that you were accustomed to being around. It is not permanent, but for a season, God wanted some of you all to simply just pull back. But because people don't know why you pull back, or they don't understand that there is a process that a man or woman of God has to go through, they will take it personal when you are not around them, when you are not calling them, when you are not texting them. A lot of people will make the assumption that you think you're better. They will make the assumption that you have a problem or an issue with them, because, guys, people don't understand the spiritual things of the Lord if they are not locked in with God, if they are not praying, and if they don't know God. So you going through your process, that is going to make a lot of people feel some type of way. But then there comes a point where God may impress up on your spirit to reach out to certain people. He will impress up on your spirit to call somebody or to text somebody, and you will sometimes have a vision of somebody. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, and God will touch your heart to reach out to that person, to call that person, to talk to that person, and just explain to them that you don't have an issue with them. That doesn't happen with everybody, but for some of you it happens. And so you're confused now, because the people that you're trying to reach out to, or the person you're trying to contact, they are now acting funny towards you. I'm here to let you know that sometimes it is not because you've betrayed them. It is not because you've done something wrong. It is not because you've said something about them behind their back. They are running and hiding and ducking, and they are avoiding you and ignoring you because they are actually guilty of some level of betrayal towards you, or because they have said something about you behind your back. And so wicked people, people who partake in any form of wickedness, whether it's just wickedness in their personal life or it's wickedness pertaining to you, it will make them run and hide. I was reading Proverbs 28:1, and I'm just paraphrasing. And it basically is saying that a wicked man runs when there is no one pursuing him. And so you got to understand that people who have a guilty conscience, people that know that they've done something behind your back and tried to cover it up, people that know that they've badmouthed you, they've told secrets of yours, they have told your business, simply because you had a time and a season where you were not hanging tight or tough with them. You've got to know, when you go back around, you're thinking everything is normal. You're thinking everything is going to be the same, but you will find out with some people, they are slowly backing away from you because their guilty conscience has gotten the best of them. on today. I just wanted to give you guys this insight and this revelation, because sometimes we will get confused about our interpersonal relationships with people, and we don't really have all the answers as to why people react the way that they do when you are going through a certain level of change. But on the other hand, there are some people, they just are very uncomfortable with the transition you are in on your walk with Christ. And so when people cannot come directly to you, they will start to do certain things behind your back, because they have made up in their mind that their friendship or relationship with you is over. And that's just what it is in a nutshell. And so if you're asking yourself, why is this particular person ignoring me and I've been texting them? Why is this particular person not answering their phone and I've been calling them? Why is this particular person acting funny? They're real short with me when I'm trying to talk to them, and I really just want to check on them. I don't have an issue with them, but they seem to suddenly, out the blue, have an issue with me. It seems like they're running from something. It is because of their guilt. Not everybody, but there are certain people who feel some type of way about what is going on in your life. And if it's not outright, God has been blessing you and doing something different in your life for the better, it is simply because, like I said, God has called you to some level of sabbatical or consecration, and God is pruning you. And that requires you to really fight to keep your deliverance and your purity. You can't be out in the streets ripping and running. You cannot be on the scene. You cannot be in everybody's house. You cannot be in everybody's face. But people who don't know God, people who don't pray, people who don't have discernment, they will always look at you and where you are right now in a negative sense. And so I just wanted to tell you all that you don't have to do anything over the top or extra. You don't have to argue with anybody. You don't have to go back and forth with anybody if you are faced with them right now. As far as them acting funny towards you, what you do is, knowing that we all reap what we sow, you have to continue to move forward gracefully. Because what you don't want to do, if you know that God has you on a sabbatical or some type of consecration or fast, and he is pruning you, he may have pruned you in a sense where he told you, don't go on social media, don't post on social media. You know, you're spending a lot of time up there. God deals with each one of us differently. Sometimes God is not even speaking to you, telling you to do those things. Sometimes just in a spiritual sense, you just don't want to deal with it. You don't want to log in. You don't want to see the filth that's on the internet. You just don't want to come across certain things that would knock you off your square or disturb your spirit. But sometimes, even through social media, people that are following you, that are friends and that are family members, they get offended off the fact that you are no longer liking their stuff, or you are not interacting with them on social media, not realizing that when you went away, it was not personal. And so they start to talk out of turn. They start to lash out. They start to slander you. They start to speak ill of you. They start to say that they're done with you. This is why it's so important and critical that you have real saved men and women of God and real friends in your life. Because if you disappear, and I'm not saying disappear like you ghost people, but if you go away for a while and you are not talking, they will immediately know in the spirit, by the spirit, you know what, he or she, they must be fasting, they must be consecrating, they must be on some type of sabbatical because they've gone silent. See, when you are secure within your friendships, their silence and their absence, you don't take it personal. You don't look at it as an attack. You have to be locked into God to understand where the people you love are. You have to understand that. And so what you don't want to happen is, if you worry too much about, okay, this person is avoiding me. I've called them several times. I've text messaged them several times. They are not responding. to my text messages. I emailed them. They're not responding to the emails. I've called them. I've left messages for them. They are not responding. What you need to do is not spend a lot of time there focusing on it. If you know you've reached out a couple of times and you know you said, hey, listen, I'm just reaching out to you. I know I have not been around for a while. I love you. I'm just checking in on you. You don't want to spend a lot of time there, because the enemy sometimes will use what you know by the Spirit as a distraction. When certain things come to you and you find out that people who are in your circle are not really who you think they are, as far as them being a real friend, don't get caught up on it. Your job is to still love them. Your job is to still act with grace and move forward gracefully. And you treat everybody you come across with respect and love. That is your job. But don't spend a lot of time there. A lot of things that you all need to understand is that moving with God, when you are under the umbrella of God, sometimes change happens fast. And change happens so fast sometimes you don't have a lot of time or enough time to really do a lot of explaining to certain people. You don't have a lot of time for small talk. You don't have a lot of time to sit on the phone all day and go back and forth with people. But when you start to focus on, okay, this is my best friend, this is my cousin, this is my mother, this is my father, they're angry at me and I know I have not done anything. But you actually find out, they've done something to you. They've told everybody some things about you behind your back, just off the simple fact God is doing something different in you and your life, or they haven't heard from you in a while and they took it personal. They looked at it in a negative light. And so now they are avoiding you. They don't want to talk to you. They're not responding to your calls and text messages. Sometimes it's because of their own guilt. If you think about it, think about times in your life, because we've all been guilty of this, where our mind was working overtime and we didn't have all the information. We did not have all the details on what something was concerning a loved one or a friend. We didn't know what was going on, but we thought the worst. We thought the worst about that person. We felt like that person was fake. We felt like that person was phony. And so finally, when we get in contact with them or we talk to them or they come around, when they break down and explain to you, you know what, it wasn't personal. My absence wasn't personal. Or they just overall explained the situation to you as far as what went on and why they were not coming around. You feel bad about how you dogged them out behind their back. You feel bad about the fact that you told a lot of people you were done with them. You feel bad about the fact that you have shared personal, private, secret things with outside people that only that person told to you. All because they went away and they were not responding to you. And so this is why I'm telling you all, you have to just extend the grace and you pray about it, because everything and everybody that's connected to you, God cares about it. God is concerned about it. But as you seek the kingdom, hear me when I tell you, as you seek the kingdom and you focus on God, all the interruptions, all the disruptions, all the misunderstandings, all the falling outs, God will bit by bit start to reconcile and put certain things back together, and he will give people who are close to you the understanding as to what was going on. You have to trust that about God, but don't spend a lot of time there arguing with people saying, I know you did something behind my back. See, I know you a fake friend. I know that you're avoiding me because you're guilty. You don't have to just come out and tell people that you know that. You will already know by the fruit that they display towards you. Once you get that revelation, you already know what it is. But don't go back and forth, because it is now taking your attention and you have work to do. You have to stay focused in this season. You have to stay focused, because the enemy is very busy and the enemy is really, really crafty at how he throws numerous distractions out. So stay focused and just know that when somebody has been wicked towards you, sometimes you may not even have all the details. You literally may not know anything besides that person is just very guilty when you come around, or that person is real guilty when you're talking to them. You can always hear guilt in somebody's voice, and they're pushing away from you and you don't even know why. Sometimes you will not be able to understand evil. But when somebody is wicked and they're running away because of their guilty conscience. When you all get the availability, go and read the entire chapter of Proverbs 28. But the scripture that I paraphrased today in this video message is Proverbs 28 and 1. Go read that for yourself. That's the video message. Well, guys, it's time for me to go because I have some other things to do. The Lord willing, I will be back with another video message. If any one of you have taken offense to anything I spoke about in this video message, it's okay. It's all right. I'm not worried about it. I am not concerned because I know you will forgive me in the morning.